Hey there, scary people, and welcome to an extra bonus video for this week for a very special reason. So, as most of you know, I'm the founder of the Book to Script course. I specialize not just in screenwriting, but particularly adapting books into screenplays, which is its own special skill set. And this week we are doing a special launch of the course. So, to that end, I wanted to just make a special extra video to talk a little bit about why it really is in your best interest, if you are an author, to learn how to adapt your book into a screenplay. And there's many reasons, but here are some of the top ones that come to mind. So first and foremost, obviously, it can catapult your book sales. So there's a wonderful cyclical thing that happens when there's a movie in the works. People hear about the movie and it drives them to go back and actually find and buy your book. Likewise, people who have already read the book are going to be driven to go see the movie because they're going to recognize that this movie was based off of that book that they read and hopefully loved. So there is a wonderful cycle that starts that can continue to feed your book sales and also benefits the film. Speaking of benefiting the film, it is a lot more attractive to producers to choose to produce a film that is based on already existing IP, that's intellectual property. So you can come to a producer with a totally brand new original screenplay, not based on anything. There's nothing wrong with that. So it might be a phenomenal screenplay. Who knows, maybe that movie goes on to make millions of dollars. However, if instead you're coming to a producer with a screenplay based on a book that already has done some numbers, that already has some kind of audience or some kind of social engagement, social media engagement with followers or whatever the case may be, that helps to make that producer feel more comfortable saying yes to that project and making that project because they know that there's already an audience waiting to see that film. And if you think about that logically, if you imagine, put yourself in that producer's mindset, you'll see that makes perfect sense. So instead of taking a risk on something where there's no proven audience, if there is an audience for that book already, that's going to be really appealing to them. Speaking of audience, another major benefit is that doing the screenplay can help open you up to a much larger audience. So in this day and age, of course, there's still book readers. There's still people who love books and who are very passionate about books. But there's a lot of people also who never pick up a book. So there's people who only, stream content. They watch videos. They're watching things on their phones, their computers even, not even necessarily TV or the theater. But that's how they're engaging with content. That's how they're consuming content. So by doing a screenplay adaptation or an adaptation into a television series for that matter, but some format where they're able to, take that content in a different way, you're actually making it possible for this whole much larger audience to discover your work. And they wouldn't have been able to discover it if it had only remained a book. Of course, it's also going to open you up to new income. So if you manage to make a screenwriting deal or make a deal for a screenplay, of course, you're being paid for that. So that's also a big benefit. It's also going to give you a whole new skill set, which might open you up to an entire new level in your career. So if up until this point, you've only been an author of books, you have no idea how to write a screenplay, but, hopefully you've been doing well with your books. Now, by learning how to write a screenplay, you have a whole new skill set. You have this now in your toolbox that you didn't have before. You can be hired out for screenwriting jobs, get screenwriting work. Again, if you sell the screenplay that you write, you do make money. Hopefully you get, a percentage of the back end of whatever that film might go on to make in the future. So it's giving you those new skills, which is growing you as a writer, and it's also growing your career. It opens you up to new publicity opportunities for your book as well. So if you have written a book and now you start to write a screenplay, now you can reach out to all sorts of media. So your local media, once there's a movie in the works, and this opens you up to new publicity. So maybe you got a couple people to review your book when it came out. Maybe there were a couple articles written about you in your hometown newspaper or, whatever the case may be. Now here is another reason for new articles to be written because you have something new in the works. So new publicity, this again is going to drive people back to your books and, help generate more book sales. So that great cycle can just keep on continuing. Now, the final benefit that I will mention is that this is actually going to make you a better author as well. So if you are an author, you've only written books up until this point, and you decide to learn the skills of writing a screenplay, I promise you, the next time you go to write your next book, that book is going to be stronger and it's going to be built so much better than any of your books in the past have been. So as you guys know, I recently released my first novel this past year. And let me tell you, so I've been a working screenwriter for many, many years. All those screenwriting skills really served me well when I wrote that book. Because when it comes to screenwriting, you have to really, really know story structure. You have to really know how to design characters. All those things carry over into the book. So instead of, maybe falling into the trap of having it meander or anything like that, you're going to wind up writing books that are actually much more powerful with better pacing and, just much more effective from your reader than anything you have ever done before. All right, if you have an interest in the Book to Script course, check out the link down below and make sure to join us as the course newly launches this week so that you can be in our group calls. I hope to see you there, and as always, happy writing.